Well, hi, and welcome back to Heart and Health Wellness. I'm your host, Dr. Melissa Welch, and I'm really glad that you are here today because today we're going to talk about something that I know so many of you deal with all the time because I deal with it too at times, and that is mom guilt. But we're not going to just name it. We're actually going to do something with it. I think a lot of times I hear women say, well, mom guilt's just part of the experience. You're just going to have it forever and you have to deal with it. In my experience, having the thoughts come up is definitely part of life, but we don't have to let it stay there. We can do something about it. So I have figured out what works for me, and that's what I'm going to share with you today. So hopefully you have a tool to be able to use when that mom guilt comes around and is trying to take you down with it. So today I'm going to walk you through a real life example from last week, my own life. And I'm going to guide you through an EFT tapping exercise that you can use anytime those thoughts start to take over. Just real quick, if you're not familiar with EFT tapping, EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Technique. I'm going to go into it a little bit more here in a bit. I did an episode last time on coping with loss and grief, specifically to pet loss, and using EFT tapping for that. So there's lots of other good resources out there that you can use to learn more about EFT tapping. I am by no means an expert at it. It's fairly new to me as well, but I enjoy using it and I tell patients about it. And so I will tell you about it too, because you can learn about it for free and it's a great resource to have. So last week on Wednesday, last week, I had to stay late at work. It was just one of those days when you have a lot going on, you need to get caught up. And so I stayed later than usual. And when I was staying later, it occurred to me that more than likely I would just need to go straight to church for my small group instead of my usual Wednesday routine, which is where I get to go home, even if it's for 45 minutes, to pick my son up and do dinner with him and then go to church. And sometimes he goes to church too. But I realized with the timing, I live about an hour away from home. Church is right next to home. Doesn't matter. That's extra info. Basically, by the time I left work, I'd have to go straight to church if I was going to make it to small group on time. And so that would mean that I would miss daycare pickup, getting to walk home like we really enjoy. Had to miss out on dinner time. And those are definitely moments that I really value and I look forward to. And I always say, like, my favorite time of day is coming home after work and reconnecting with Cameron and my husband and just having that time together. And I knew I was going to miss out on that. So anyways, I realized that's what was going to happen. Some of the guilt tried to start creeping in as soon as I figured out what was going on, but that's what I needed to do. And I decided to go ahead and go to my small group, which I really enjoy doing. So by the time that I got home, my husband was getting Cameron out of the bath. And again, that guilt just started to creep in like, oh, I missed it. Am I doing enough as a mom? Should I be home more? Am I doing too much for myself away from home? And that is just the perfect example of mom guilt trying to creep in and be obnoxious and throw things off. So here's the important part. When I noticed the thought showing up, I chose not to let it stay. I immediately noticed it for what it was. I put it in check, and then I reminded myself that it's good for me to do things that fill my soul and take care of me so that I can be in a good place with my own wellness and my well-being so that I can then take care of my family and be available to them. So I have to take care of myself in order to be able to do that. And he also got something really valuable that he doesn't get very often. And that's time, one-on-one time with his daddy. And they're around each other all the time, but it's unusual for them to get one-on-one time. And so that's special that they got that. So when I reframed it that way, it really helped things to shift in my own mind to a point where I'm able to shut down that mom guilt and not let it take residence and hang out in my brain. I was still able to do story time, and I was still able to sing to him and get him to bed and tuck him in, and the night was still meaningful. So it's okay for me to do things differently and not be so rigid about our schedule that it doesn't allow me to take time for myself as well. So I want to take a moment real quick to mention that I know Mother's Day is coming up. And if you know a new mom or a mom who's still in her breastfeeding season, you absolutely need to check out We Are Amma. I talk about them all the time, but they make the Cocoon, which is the absolute best nursing cover. The material is breathable and soft, and the style is cute and trendy, and it comes in lots of different colors. I absolutely love mine. And it comes in 2 different sizes as well, which I don't know if I've mentioned that before. It comes in like a regular size and then a plus size or an extra large size. So if you wanted to just cover up what you need to, that works. Or if you want like lots of extra coverage, you can get the larger option as well. But it's beautiful and I love it. And the other thing that they have that I love is my halo necklace. And I actually got that one for Mother's Day last year. It was a gift from my husband and my son. And that one comes in 14 karat gold, or they have a more like financially aware option that I believe is gold filled. So either way, it's going to last you a very long time, good quality piece. And it's really pretty. And it looks like a sunshine. And then on the side, it spells out mama, which is really cute and very sweet. So if you need a good Mother's Day gift, definitely check it out. Or if you're listening to this and you want it to be your Mother's Day gift, send the link to somebody who can take care of that for you. But if you use the code Melissa, MELISSA, you get 15% off your purchase, and that stacks on top of other discounts. So We Are Amma might be running discounts for Mother's Day, and you can get an extra 15% off if you use my discount code. So check them out. I'll put the link to it in the show notes here, but really good quality stuff. And they have lots of other good things too, but the Cocoon and the halo necklace are the 2 things that I have that I absolutely love from them. So check them out. Okay. So I want to just pause here real quick and say this very clearly. You need to expect that negative thoughts will come. It is a part of life. Mom guilt is going to show up. You cannot avoid that. Okay. That's whether you're a mom or you're not a mom. Negative thoughts are going to come. You get a choice though of what you're going to do with that. So the problem is not that they show up. The problem is that sometimes we let those thoughts take over and turn into our truth. But you have a choice in that moment when it shows up. You can notice it and do something about it, or you can allow it to overwhelm you and you can become it. Sometimes just noticing it is enough to keep it in check, but sometimes it's not. And we need to do a little bit more to really feel like we have control over the thoughts, negative thoughts, whatever they are, mom guilt. Sometimes it sticks. Sometimes those thoughts start looping. Sometimes it feels heavier. And it's more than you can just reframe in the moment. And that is where a tool like EFT tapping can be really, really helpful. So I tried to explain it very briefly at the beginning, but EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Technique. And this technique combines gentle tapping on very specific points of the body that are also used in acupuncture called meridian points. And they help you shift how your body responds to emotions and thoughts. So those specific points on the body, while you're acknowledging the feeling of what you're experiencing, doing all of that together can help shift your brain and regulate your nervous system. And what's really interesting is that the research has shown that EFT can significantly reduce stress, anxiety, and emotional intensity, even in relatively short periods of time. So it works with your nervous system, not against it. And I don't want you to think of this as a therapy replacement, but more of a tool that you can have in your toolbox. So something that you can reach for in real life, in real moments when your thoughts are starting to feel really loud. And they've been studying this for well over 20 years now, and there is lots of good scientific evidence for how effective it is. It's good stuff. I've used it for myself. I've told patients about it. They like it. There's lots of good evidence for it. So I say that because I feel like I have to defend it because I thought it was really woo-woo when I first heard about it. And I was like, yeah, no, that's not my thing. But the more I learned about it and the more research that I read and found evidence for it, the more I'm excited about it. And so I want to share it with you. Primarily because it's a free resource that you can do on your own, which is really cool. All right. So I'm going to walk you through a tapping exercise, and I realize that you can't see me. This is audio only. So I'll be very clear about which points you should be tapping. And if you're not familiar with tapping points at all already, I would look up a different YouTube video to see what those points are, or Google it and see if you can see a picture of it, because it does help to have a visualization. But basically, you're going to start with the side of your hand, and that's called the karate chop point. And you'll just use 2 or 3 fingers to tap on the side of your hand, kind of like on the outside of your palm. If you were to set your hand down on the table with your thumb up, that side of your palm is what you're going to be hitting. The second point is right above your eyebrow and like the inner part of your eyebrow. The third point is on the outside of your eye, like if you were going to do winged cat eye eyeliner, right there. The next point is under your eye, again, kind of on the inner part, right under your eye. And you'll notice that these points, when you tap on them, you don't have to tap hard, just lightly. It's a little like in the tender area, and that's okay. You're not doing any damage. The next part is under your nose, like if you were going to have a little mustache right there. And then the next one is under your lip on your chin. And then after that, we'll move to the collarbone. And you can either do this right where that bony part of your collarbone is, right underneath that, again, where it's kind of tender. Or some people like it in the middle of your chest, right in the center. That's fine too. And then the last point, well, I guess it's not the last, second to last point is right on your rib cage or your bra line under the arm. And then the last one is on the top of your head. And I like to do right in the center, but honestly, you can do wherever feels good. And you might find a point that you like better than others. That's fine. But as we walk through this, we'll start with the karate chop and then we'll work through all of those. And I'll give you a little bit of a cue to let you know that we're moving to that next point. All right. If you're driving, you can still do this and listen along. Just keep your eyes open and on the road, and I'll give you cues along with it. And if you're able to tap along while you're driving, that's great, even better. So I'm going to be very clear about where to tap so you can follow along easily. Before we get started, just take a moment to kind of roll your shoulders back, maybe place your hand on your heart, on your chest, and just kind of notice where you're feeling any tension in your body. And I'd like for you to rate how you feel about whatever current mom guilt you're experiencing or negative thoughts you're having on a scale of 1 to 10, with 0 to 10, I guess. 0 being nothing at all, no issues, 10 being the worst you can imagine. And put a number to what you're feeling and experiencing right now and notice where that is in your body. And then we'll revisit this at the end of each round to see how it's shifting and if it's shifting for you. Okay, so I want you to start by tapping on the side of your hand, the karate chop point, and gently tap with your fingers on the side of your opposite hand. So I like to use my right hand, tap on my left. Also, another point, you can totally do one hand for all of this, which is how I usually do it, or you can use 2 hands and do both sides. Up to you. Doesn't matter. Just follow along and notice how it goes for you. Okay, so repeat after me as you're doing the karate chop. You can either say it out loud or silently to yourself. Even though I feel guilty for not being there as much as I want to be, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though part of me feels like I am missing moments that matter, I choose to offer myself compassion. Even though I worry that I'm not doing enough, I acknowledge this feeling and I'm open to seeing it differently. Okay, now we're going to move through those different points. So just tap gently on each one. Eyebrow, this guilt feels really heavy today. Side of the eye, outer corner of the eye. I feel like I am missing too much. Under the eye, I should be there more. My brain tells me I should be there more. Under the nose, I don't want to miss these moments. They're so special. Chin, it feels like I'm not doing enough. Collarbone, there is a part of me that feels like I am failing. Under the arm, even if that's not actually true. Top of the head, it still feels real. Take a deep breath in through the nose, count to 3 or 4. Pause and exhale for 3 or 4. Notice how you're feeling. Notice if that number on the scale has changed at all. And we're just going to keep going through this. And as you're tapping, you're doing kind of like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, kind of like that pace as you're tapping in each of those spots as you're repeating those phrases. Okay, let's do the second round. And this is the one where we're going to release it and reframe it. And I should also note that if you need to stay in one section and repeat it, you can before you move on to the next one. Okay? There's no timeline on this. You do what feels good. Okay, so eyebrow point. Maybe this feeling is coming from how much I care. Side of the eye. Maybe this guilt is just love trying to protect something important. Under the eye, I don't have to push it away. Under the nose, but I also don't have to let it take over. Chin, I can hold both things. Collarbone, I can care deeply. Under the arm and still trust that I am doing enough. Top of the head, I am allowed to take care of myself too. It is good for me to take care of myself too. And pause, deep breath in, count to 3, 1, 2, 3, and hold, 2, 3, and out, 2, 3, 4. Roll your shoulders back, circle your neck. You notice where it is in your body and what that number is on the scale. Third round, eyebrow. I'm showing up in ways that matter. Side of the eye, even if it doesn't look perfect. Under the eye, even if I miss some moments. Under the nose, there are still so many meaningful moments. Chin, I am present when I am there. Collarbone, I am building a life for my family. Under the arm, and that matters too. Top of the head, I am doing enough. I am doing enough. Deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. And out. 2, 3, 4. And just notice how you're feeling. There's no judgment, just awareness of what your body is doing. And if you need to repeat those, you absolutely can do that. Definitely save this episode so you can come back to it later. All right. If you want to take this a step further this week, I'm going to give you a few questions to reflect on. Just so you know, if you use tapping on a regular basis several times out of the week, you don't have to do it every day, but several times out of the week, you're going to get better and better at it. Your body's going to respond even better to it. So it's definitely worthwhile incorporating as part of your regular wellness routine. I would encourage you to try to do that. But it's a good tool for you to have. And I hope that you noticed a change in your scale. I certainly do, even if it's a couple of points, makes a big difference for me. All right, so some questions that you can reflect on and journal on if you want to this week. Number 1, when does mom guilt show up most for me? Are there events, activities, certain contexts or settings, situations where guilt shows up more than others? Number 2, what thoughts tend to repeat in those moments? What are the thoughts that are coming up that you're telling yourself that tend to come up over and over and over again? Number 3, counter that with what is actually true versus what my body says feels true in that moment. What do I know to be actually true? Okay. Next one. What would I say to a friend if she was in this exact situation? And we can all think of situations or examples of talking to our best friends on the phone. And they're like, I feel so bad about this. And you're like, girl, you don't need to feel bad about that. It's good for you to go to a small group. He can take care of the baby for a little bit. Like, we've all had those conversations. So what would you tell your friend if she was in this exact situation? And last one, what does doing enough, in quotes, doing enough actually mean for me in this season? What do I actually have capacity for? What is actually needed of me? What is good enough? And can I be okay with that? All right. That's all I have for you today. If this resonated with you at all and you feel like you're constantly being pulled in two directions between work and motherhood, I need you to know that you don't have to figure that out alone. You're definitely not alone. That's a common experience, but there is a difference between struggling in this season and suffering in this season. Struggling can be okay at times and make us stronger. Suffering will break you, and it is not healthy and it's not good for you or your family, including your baby. So if that's you, I do offer free 45-minute clarity calls where we talk through your exact situation to figure out what it is that's going on for you that's making it so difficult and help you find a path forward that actually feels sustainable so you can be clear about what's important to you and calm in the moment and confident about how things are going. And I have been through this journey myself, and I love helping other moms on this journey as well. And so we can do that call for free. We'll hop on Zoom together. If my program is a good fit for you, I'll let you know and invite you in. If I feel like it's not a good fit or there's something else that would help you better, I'll let you know that too. Okay, so it's zero pressure. It's just a conversation to see if there's an opportunity for me to help you so you don't have to suffer through this season. All right, if you want to book that, I'll put the link for it in the show notes. If this episode today was helpful to you, I'd ask that you share it with another mom who might need it. Like we said at the beginning, we've all experienced mom guilt at different times. And so even if your friend isn't telling you that she's struggling, there's a good chance she's experiencing it, at least a little bit. So go ahead and share it with her. And if you felt like it was really good and you want to be super nice and leave me a review or at least a 5-star rating on there, that would be awesome, especially if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, because we are new to Apple Podcasts. And so it helps to go ahead and get some of those ratings on there so that it can be pushed out to other folks to help us grow. Anyways, I appreciate your support and for you being here so much, and I hope it was helpful to you. As always, take care of yourself, and until next time, be well.